juicy? Not too much. It does look juicy. It's almost 10 pages of juice.
Yeah. That is one juicy fruit.
It is. Definitely get your lips around this one. And I hope you guys do too. So, this is episode 8 of The Unsettled. And put it this way, I was so excited to tell this young man about this one. I was like, dude, this one. And he was like, okay. And like you said you rushed.
Yeah, I did.
You literally
rush.
boom.
I did rush.
But
I got some bullet points.
Yeah, but I managed to do like 10 whole pages.
Yeah.
So yeah. So episode 8. Yeah. Episode 8, and this is looking ripe. This is frequent. It's quite new.
It is. It's quite recent.
It's recent-ish.
Recent-ish.
It still gets.
It's within the last 20 years.
Mate. Thought processes work. Work for you guys. Just work. I better at the intros. I'm so proud. So episode 8. Welcome to The Unsettled, and yeah, this is a case that fascinates me. It fascinates me because of the possibilities. It's so open. It's like more open than a cheap prostitute. This is open. This is big. If we can suss this out, mate, we're going down in history. But I probably doubt it.
Should we just dive straight in?
We could dive in if you like to. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share it, because we're getting bigger. And this is like I said previously, and
if you enjoy it, maybe others will too.
Yeah, literally, because we're giving our points of view, and you guys obviously love it so much, so we're going to continue doing it, and we're not going to run out of any ideas.
Oh,
so
no.
put it that way.
Oh no.
So today's subject: who's up for the bat? The Jamison family. Anyone know anything about this? Well, I'm pretty sure maybe someone does. Someone that's probably watching might be going, "Oh, I know."
Well, or maybe they've heard little bits.
Yeah. Well, let's see how much they do know.
Okay.
So, Bobby Dale Jamison, 44, his wife Sherilyn, and their 6-year-old daughter Madison, and the family dog Maisie.
Yeah.
You can't forget the family dog Maisie. I want to know what happened to his dog though. The family went missing on October the 8th, 2009, from their hometown of Oklahoma. I'm not going to try and say that word because I'll butcher it, but you can try.
It's Buffalo. Or Buffalo. Buffalo, Oklahoma.
You had to get that in, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did. So basically, the family went missing, and this is a bit of a strange one. So we're just gonna start you from the very beginning. So it begins here. They had recently purchased a large metal storage container sitting on their property, yet they was financially struggling. That's a bit of a curious thing to buy. A metal storage container.
It was.
Like, for a family that's financially struggling, and we'll get into why they're struggling, but still, why would you buy a storage container? Both Bobby and Sherilyn claimed disability, so I guess that's what they must have lived off.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they lived off this. On the container, Sherilyn wrote... Do you know what she wrote on this container? You don't?
No.
Oh! So, she wrote something upon the storage container on their property due to her neighbours apparently poisoning and killing her cats. So she wrote on the storage container, 3 cats killed to date by sick people in this area. Witches do not like their black cats killed. Oh. Already. So is this possibly a warning to her neighbours? I would see that as a warning. Even if I didn't kill her cat, I'd look at that and go, oh, someone's in trouble.
Yeah.
Just would.
You would take it as a back off.
Yeah, that's what I would do. But either way, they claimed disability. Her husband suffered from back pain, which he suffered in the car crash and was taking pills every day, and he had trouble actually walking. So bearing in mind this guy had trouble walking long distances. So just keep that one in mind. Seems odd, but, I digress. I shall get into it. But bearing in mind what she wrote on that storage container. 8 days later, after the family went missing, their pickup was found in Red Oak, an hour drive from their hometown, from their home. Now I'm going to tell you the last person to see them was an old man in the mountains, 1/4 of a mile from the pickup. He claimed he saw the family, spoke to him about the land and how much it would be, and how much it would be to like move on to it.
Yeah, it
And
was a 75-acre land.
75-acre land. So they're living off benefits.
Oh, sorry, a 40-acre
Okay,
plot of land with mountains and
yeah.
woodland.
I mean, it seems to me they just want to get away. Maybe they've had trouble with their neighbours.
Yeah,
I mean, they've killed the cats.
You know what I mean?
You know,
You just need to get away.
If we knew a bit more of the backstory, we would happily tell you. But so far, you're kind of getting the idea that, you know, her cats have been killed.
Yeah.
She's
allegedly poisoned by the neighbours.
Allegedly. He claimed he only saw the family in the area that day.
Yeah.
And the family wanted to move to a remote area. He also said he didn't see anyone else in the area. They wanted to look at the land they was buying. And okay, that doesn't sound out of the ordinary.
No.
A family, you know, venturing off to buy some land to possibly build a new start.
Yeah. Build their own.
To get away from shit. I mean, I'd love to.
Oh, I'd love to.
See what I mean? Like we're into this family. We get this family.
I get this bit of the family.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, basically they went missing and they came across their pickup. Now inside their pickup, in the back of the car, was a family dog, Maisie. She was still alive, malnourished, and had lived and must have survived from her own feces.
Our own feces, and obviously due to the cold mornings and stuff, like the dew in the windows.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Animals have animal instincts.
Yeah,
this is where we get our survival instincts.
Yeah, we get our survival.
I mean, okay. So, like I said, it's just how that one worked. In the car, the police detectives found Bobby's wallet, Sherilyn's purse, a GPS, their clothing, cell phones, and Bobby's phone. And on Bobby's phone, they found a picture of their daughter on the day they allegedly went missing. So he took a picture of his daughter. Now, many people online have said that the daughter looks petrified.
Yeah, she looks scared.
Right, you say she looks scared.
Or white-faced. Well, not white-faced, but she looks...
Yeah, but did you notice her teeth were missing? In the smile? Like, you'll find out why.
Okay.
I dug on this family, mate. I was digging deep. I was digging enough. Well, should I say, I was digging deep enough to find them. And then I came up with a loose end. But still. Also, $32,000 in cash under Bobby's seat. The photo of the daughter was taken in the woods, but the phone was then put back in the car. So it was actually taken in the woods of where they possibly parked or got out.
Yeah.
And already you're thinking, okay, but the phone's back in the car, so where are the family?
Yeah,
what's going on?
What's going on?
Do you see what I mean? That's a bit weird to me.
It's a bit weird.
That is a bit weird. Okay, the position of the vehicle and its contents had not been stolen. But the position of the car leads detectives to think they had been told to get out of their car, possibly due to how the dog may have attacked whoever told them to get out. So basically, then it comes across how the car was parked and aligned, that they were possibly forced to get out.
Yeah.
But then the dog, I would have thought, I don't know what type of dog it was.
I don't know.
I couldn't find out what type of dog it was. I mean, if it's a
big
big dog,
if
it's a big dog,
if it's a big dog,
that's gonna jump out at anyone.
It's gonna go for anyone.
It's gonna be protective. Days went on with a large search. Parties, police dogs, helicopters, volunteers, all looking in the area, but found nothing.
No.
They found no clues of the family. I mean, to me already, you're thinking like, oh,
that's a bit suspect.
A little bit.
Like going back to the search, going back to like they've been told to get out.
If they've been told to get out of the car due to like gun crime, I mean the area of where they live was pretty rough anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to say they weren't followed? That was my thought process at this point when I started digging into this family. They were followed. They went into the woods, came back, and as they came back, then it happened. But then I thought, if they're going to venture into the woods,
You would take the dog.
you take the dog. It didn't make sense.
No.
But obviously they've got like police helicopters, volunteers, people looking for them. They had police dogs hunting for their scent, and their clothes were still there. So you'd expect the dogs would have found them, at least. But nothing at all. I will just tap into this bit first, but I won't talk about it just yet. So please check the last security camera footage outside the family's home.
Yeah.
And I guess this is kind of odd. So the detectives said they went back and forth to the truck roughly 20 times packing the truck of their belongings.
Yeah.
Sherilyn is seen putting a briefcase into the car, which was not in the car.
No.
Her husband was seen with a gun in the back of his jeans.
You would think you're going out into the wilderness.
You're going to take a gun.
Yourself.
I mean, if he's living in a rough area,
Yeah, you're
going
going
to
to defend yourself.
I think everyone in America fucking takes a gun. Everyone anywhere in different countries take a gun. We just use our fists.
Yeah, but we haven't got wolves and bears and God knows else.
Coyotes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the mountains.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not sure a handgun's going to do much.
It's a deterrent.
I suppose you could shoot it up in the air and it might startle a bear to run away.
Yeah.
Maybe. The married couple did not speak to each other on the security camera.
No.
They did not speak to each other, just stopped and stared at one another, not moving, just in a trance as a detective describes it.
Yeah, and then trance-like state.
Which seems to me is like, okay, so their last footage alive is their own household security camera, and they're backwards and forwards, and they
Not
also
really communicating, but loading up the truck.
yeah, and they kept staring at things. And I watched a bit of the security footage.
You can't quite see what they're.
You can't see what they're staring at, but they also look fucking paranoid. They look like everyone's eyes are on them. This is what makes me think maybe the neighbourhood they were living in was giving them problems.
Maybe, yeah.
And they thought, right, we'll do this, we change our clothes. I've never packed anything and then changed my clothes halfway through and then packed some more clothes.
No.
It's like, actually, I want to wear that today. It doesn't make sense.
It's like, I haven't worn this in ages.
I haven't seen this for a while. Might just put on my new checkered jacket. So yeah, they were seen as like just in a trance. Yeah, like I said, they also changed their clothes halfway through. It's worth noting the briefcase and gun was never found, but it could hold so many secrets to this mystery. It could.
And to be fair, the gun was actually licensed to his wife.
Yeah, it was licensed to the wife, not him.
Not him.
Which is a bit of a curious thought. I mean, like most people...
It's maybe going into a later theory.
I mean, maybe. Now we're going to fast forward to 2013. On November the 16th, 2013, 4 years after the disappearance, their remains were found by deer hunters who were scouting in Red Oak Woods.
In November of the 13th.
Yep. And they found the bodies just 3 miles away from where the pickup was located. Bone fragments, clothing, shoes and teeth diagnosed it was a Jamison family.
Yeah. They did actually have trouble.
Yep.
Because the bones and the bodies were so
disintegrated
and degraded. But as you said, there was the only thing that really done it was
the
a
teeth.
few fragments of the bones and the teeth.
Yeah. And as I'll later show you,
Yeah.
which will be a bit more interesting. So, like I said to you when we spoke about this, like you had police dogs, you had helicopters, and they couldn't find it, and they did a massive search, miles and miles radius.
Yeah. They did a what they call grid search.
Yeah.
So you
start
can't
off
miss
from A.
anything from a grid search.
Yeah. But then they would have come across this. It was what? What did I put down? Just 3 miles from where the pickup was located. They would have searched that.
Scanned that area.
They would have
the
searched
dogs would have been all over that. They would have caught scent.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm thinking like, were they taken somewhere, or were they hiding, or did they feel that they were being followed, and then they hid? I mean, bearing in mind the father couldn't walk very far because of his back pain.
True, but then why would you even head to that? Even if you are paranoid, why would you head to mountainous regions?
What, to get away in the woods? Hide? Good hide and seek.
True, but then if if you can't navigate that properly...
Then again, I would have took the dog if I felt I was being followed.
You wouldn't leave the dog.
No, I wouldn't leave the dog. Unless obviously I put the dog back in the car to then get back in the car, knowing that the threat...
Maybe a car gone past.
Maybe the threat had passed, and as I put the dog in the car, I'm jumped. Then I've got a problem. Do you see what I mean?
True.
I mean, I put someone could have been watching me put the dog in the car. I close the door.
Go around to the other side.
And then I'm grabbed.
You're grabbed.
And then I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But then what you grabbed?
What
are you grabbed for?
Exactly.
You don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. We'll dig deeper. Well, we tried to dig deeper anyway. Okay, the bodies of Bobby, Sherilyn and their daughter Madison had all been laying side by side face down, but the elements had decomposed them so much no one knows the cause of death.
No.
But they did manage to distinguish a hole in Bobby's skull caused by a 9mm bullet.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the gun a 9mm gun of some sort?
It was a handgun revolver. They didn't
Yeah.
tell you which
Oh, okay.
millimeter it was.
So, some side notes to this. Bobby and Sherilyn both suffered heavily bouts of depression.
Mm-hmm.
So, bear this in mind. Sherilyn's depression got worse due to the loss of her sister, who died because of a bee sting.
Yeah, she had an allergic reaction.
Do you know when she got stung? On her tongue. Makes you wonder what she had her mouth open for.
Sherilyn, you know, like if she was having like a jam sandwich or something.
Straight onto a wasp.
Yeah.
Fucked. Yeah, you know.
It has happened.
Sherilyn was also bipolar and didn't often take her medication.
Oh dear. It's only getting worse for the family at this
It
point.
kinda is. Sherilyn's
No wonder he had the gun.
Yeah, you wouldn't give it to her. She don't sound right.
It was for his own protection.
Obviously, he's like, oh, fuck this. Sherilyn's mother said they struggled financially and she overheard Bobby say, I can get us more money, but I won't get you involved in it. He said that to his wife.
Yeah. And I know why.
Drugs?
For his family, yeah.
Yeah.
From his father,
Right.
which I will go into later on.
During the investigation of the family,
Mm-hmm.
no signs pinned them to them moving, to them wanting to move.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it wasn't, no one knew that they were moving because they were financially struggling.
Mm.
But then you turn
Apparently.
up with a steel storage container on your driveway.
And 32 grand under your bloody.
Yeah.
You just
A detective said they were both scammers.
Yeah.
And at the time suing 3 people. Bobby had worked for many years at his father's gas station, and his father promised to make him co-owner, but never did. This led to an argument.
Yeah. This is where they fell out.
Yeah. Also worth stating, Bobby was suing his father for $10,000
Yeah, for loss in earnings.
and received it months before the disappearance.
Yep.
So that's... It seems like his family want to sue everyone. Bobby also filed a restraining order against his father, claiming the 67-year-old was a danger to Bobby and his family.
Yep. Bearing in mind his father is called Bobby as well, so that must have been confusing.
Yeah. On the request, it stated his father had threatened to kill him and his family. In fact, he attempted this twice. In November, his father hit him with his car, and again the following April.
Yeah.
Also, Bobby pointed out his father was involved.
He's very resilient.
Bobby pointed out his father was involved with
involved.
prostitutes, gangs, and meth drug dealers.
Yeah.
So,
Apparently he was a grower.
I had so many answers for that, but I'm going to keep it under my hat. Okay, so this gave reason for the security camera outside of their home, because Bobby was scared of his father, basically. After being hit by a car twice. No wonder he was claiming fucking benefit. His back must be in fucking pain.
What else, his father is, up to, blah, 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 or capable of, even.
Yeah, it's also worth noting the family took their daughter out of school. They was taking legal action against the school because her daughter had her teeth smashed out in the school. So they're now suing the school and taking their daughter out of school.
Which is understandable.
It was an accident, her teeth got knocked out.
Yes, I know, but with the, as you said, with the back history of the
family, it sounds like the family are suing everyone.
My son tripped over and accidentally fell over. I'm going to sue him.
Yeah. It seems like walking in front of that swing, smack.
Yeah,
that's it, no teeth. So during the investigation, Pastor Gary Brandon came forward and revealed the Jamisons believed their home was haunted by ghosts and demons. So you've wrote this down as well, but
I have, yeah.
Bobby stated he had seen people's spirits on his roof. His daughter had been also recorded talking to the spirits in her bedroom. Bobby asked the pastor, or pastor. He asked the piece of pasta. Yeah. Can I get special bullets to kill the ghosts? My wife says if it's demons, she can get rid of them herself. Special bullets to kill ghosts. What's this guy on?
Meth.
As authorities searched their home, they came across nothing suspicious or drug-related, just a satanic Bible and a witch book.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that Sherilyn had been hospitalised from a failed suicide attempt. So that is maybe a piece of information not many people know.
that would also coexist with the bipolar.
Yep.
And the
Sherilyn
depression.
also had a journal, 11 pages, of how she disliked her husband. 11 pages of how much you hate someone.
That's about as much research as you've done for this.
I know, and I don't even hate the family.
You love them.
I'm obsessed. It's going to keep me going.
I love Maisie.
You like Maisie? You want to know what breed she is?
I don't know what happened.
Well, she survived.
I know she survived, but where? Where did she go?
Weeks leading up.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's alright. Weeks leading up to the family missing, they began to act more strange, carrying money to pay for things and looking paranoid and exchanging looks without talking in shops.
Yeah, they would pay with cash.
Yeah.
They destroyed all of their cards, credit cards, nothing to trace them to the whereabouts.
Right, so
Like if you're trying to disappear, you would pay everything with cash.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't use your card,
No.
especially in today's times.
No,
because
they
they will
got
find you.
cameras.
And if they're claiming benefit, they're gonna be like, "Oh, where'd this money come from?"
Yeah.
Oh, we want to know where this is.
Exactly.
Mate, they were colonised.
Well, yeah.
It's
Scammers.
It sounds like it. I mean, I also thought marriage trouble, but then her mum and loads of other people came forward and said no, there wasn't.
No.
But then
they had their arguments, they had their fights, but
I don't know. It seems weird that you'd write 11 pages about how much you hate someone.
But then if she's got bipolar, then she would have split personality syndrome.
I mean, her friend also stated that
Or
she wrote things down to help her deal with it, and then she moved on.
Yeah.
Like she'd be like, "Oh, I fucking hate my husband," and then next
Get
day,
all the hate out.
and next day
You know,
she's
it
like
could be
hugging
really-
him and kissing him.
Yeah,
So I'm
it could be a really
maybe
bad
there isn't no marriage
fight. It was
trouble.
like one of those really bad fights, and she just sat down, wrote everything down,
yeah.
had a few glasses of wine and whatever, and
Just cried.
Just
herself to
cried,
sleep.
yeah.
I mean,
then
it's
woke up next day with fresh bunch of roses, kind of thing.
yeah. I mean, to me, it's still a bit weird to think that the bodies were found so close to the truck.
But yet they were never found during the investigation.
And they never found that, like, whoever took the family, if we're going to go with a taken idea, they didn't take the IDs, they didn't take the purses, they would have searched that cup. But then the dog, I'm still
But then
thinking,
the
what
dog-
type of breed is that dog? Would the people risk opening up the door for a dog to
To
attack?
be fair, you wouldn't anyway.
Well, no. I mean, that dog will probably rip you up. You watch, we'll probably find out it's a chihuahua.
This is probably-
We'll find out the dog's a chihuahua. Can someone tell us what type of dog Maisie was? Because right now I'm thinking like it's a big German Shepherd Alsatian boisterous dog. Just for something for protection for when Bobby's at home all mate. Or,
You don't know. Like,
oh, mate, it's doing me a
you don't know if the father was involved in this kind of thing, then you would keep one of those kind of guard doggy kind of stuff.
You would. I mean, if you've been threatened
Anyway,
that you're going to
anyway.
get killed, you've had your cats killed.
Yeah.
It seems you've got some issues going on here. The remaining family members of Bobby and Sherilyn have said they loved one another. Every marriage has issues, but they would never. Oh, they was killed. They had to.
They would never hurt each other.
Yeah.
Rather than
They wouldn't let harm come to their daughter unless they was killed first. That's kind of like, oh, it's a bit chilling.
it's
That's
just
a bit chilling. I will add this detail, as many have missed it, but at the time, in Oklahoma, had an issue with cults, and Cheryl's family received a call saying her daughter's name was written in a book used by a cult, and this is worth noting as, this is worth, and this is, basically, the family made, the family received a phone call.
Yeah.
It was a warning, as the people in the book had either been killed or they went missing from this cult.
Okay.
And she received a call. Okay, the cult had said Sherilyn had been a problem for them. How? Why? It's not stated.
That would explain.
It's juicy.
That would explain, say, the poisoning of the cats to get rid of them.
It's juicy, mate. It's juicy.
It would explain why they were so nervous with all these phone calls with like Bobby's
Yeah.
dad with the cult that's after Sherilyn or Sherilyn.
Sherilyn. Also, the phone in the car had made a call, but on the 12th, when the car was locked with the dog and money inside. So there was a phone call made on the phone, but no one knows who to or how. It was a private number. and they
It's like a
couldn't,
burn phone call.
yeah, they couldn't find out who that call was on the 12th. Who made that call? Yeah, see, you put your little notes down, and I was like, oh, I've got a juicy one.
Yeah.
But it's weird that, you know, like, well, so the person, hang on, I will reread this again, because it is kind of like, I have scribbled it all in. So, and Sherilyn's family received a call saying, Sherilyn's mother, should we say, received a call saying her daughter's name was written in a book used by a cult, and this is a warning, as the people in the book had either been killed or missing. The cult had said Sherilyn had been a problem for them. How, why? It's not stated.
No.
But I do kind of dig
Well,
into
maybe maybe this cult
I think maybe the
is
cult's
the neighbourhood.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, no one knows what this cult is,
Mm.
but there is a bit more information that I did find.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I did my investigating.
Yeah.
I'll do it. So here's the theories. With so many open ends, speculations, and kind of like, it just gives you a ton of theories.
Yeah.
It does.
It does.
It gives you so many theories, but already I'm thinking, like, okay, right. So suicide, the mental state of the family.
The group suicide.
Yeah, Sherilyn they both couldn't have been in a good mindset.
No.
Also, by the last footage, it showed that a trance-like state, staring at each other, not talking, maybe killing one another off.
The thoughts running through their heads.
Yeah, maybe she is thinking that, and he's staying away from her.
Or it could be, as I said, a group suicide where they've both agreed this is going to happen. For
But
the
then you
best
kill
of the
your
family.
daughter.
But then you would kill the dog because it's also a possession. It's one of those.
Okay. Two family friends do not confirm that this has happened when, even with their mindsets, they wanted to move, start a new life, money, daughter, belongings, suggest they was planning to start afresh, not kill each other.
Yeah.
Or kill anything.
Yeah, to take everything that you value
Yeah.
and get up and leave.
I mean, to have that stuff still in the car 8 days later.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
And if you go back to the earlier one where the bloke saw them,
Yeah.
it still doesn't make sense.
I mean, a lot of people speculated it was the guy who lived up in the mountains, because he was the last one to see him alive. But then he said, no, they came to him about the acres, the land.
About the land.
I mean,
they wanted to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why they went up into the mountain, to speak to him, obviously, to buy the land, to then come back down to possibly put the dog in the car and get snatched. Who knows? I'm still going with the snatch.
Okay.
Okay, so murder. Murder is the more, I don't know, it's
the more explainable
I
one.
mean, okay,
maybe.
Bobby's father was a suspect.
Yeah.
He was 67 though.
Yeah,
He's 67.
but then going back to our previous recordings,
Yeah,
sometimes you don't have to be the.
you're
murderer.
thinking Charles Manson style cult leader.
you
Okay,
know.
okay, well, yeah, maybe.
Kind of thing.
But bearing in mind, he did live in a care home. He was constantly under care. Unless he's got a secret phone under his pillow, he's like, yeah, do the hit. I mean, you just don't know.
You just don't know.
I mean, he had contacts.
Yeah.
2 months after the family vanished, though, he died quietly in a care home.
Yeah.
So no one's ever going to find out whether it was him. But to me, I don't know. Sherilyn's mother states they couldn't have wandered off or got lost. They had a GPS.
Which was in the car, I would just like to say.
Yeah, and
It was left in the car, so they knew where they were going.
yeah. Her mother also stated there is dangerous people who stay up in the mountains. But if murder was on the cards, they killed the family in the woods and didn't break into the car with money, valuables, especially IDs, wallets. And
it doesn't make sense.
And what her mum was trying to point out was who would randomly kill a family
Bury them side
who was
by side.
buying land. Like, you just go out as a family. Like, it's literally like people walking into like a supermarket getting shot. I know it can randomly happen, but for something along that lines of
It's a very small randomisation.
Yeah.
It's very small.
So we got drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby stated he could get the money, but wanted to keep his wife and family out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a drug deal gone wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Bobby's mindset, he's protecting his family.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see this all the way
I do
through.
this myself.
Yeah, you can see this all the way through the notes. He's got CCTV for his father. He's filed restraining orders.
Yeah. He's very conscious of what he does and when he does it.
But he also comes across as a type of person who could be a bit shifty on his own. Not someone shifty with his daughter and wife in the car.
No.
It's not something
You
he's going
wouldn't
to risk.
You wouldn't take your family to a drug deal.
Like I put down here, why would you take your daughter and wife? Why?
Yeah, why?
Why would you? If they use drugs themselves, that explains the dark places mentally and the trance-like state, and maybe the change of clothes, because it might smell. But I also
True,
put...
but then why would you take...
But
why?
the family, the car, the house was searched, no drugs were found.
No
Not
drugs
even
were
in the
found.
storage container.
No, not even...
There's no traces of
There's no
drugs
traces
anywhere.
of it.
Okay, the money under the seat could have been from a share from his $60,000 split between Bobby's father. Also,
$64,000 split.
Also, friends stated no way they were Christians, and that's weird. If they're Christians, why would Sherilyn put that on a truck container about a witch? Maybe just to scare people off. Maybe she had issues.
But she is bipolar.
She has got issues.
Yeah,
but
she has got issues.
Her friend did come forward and say we brought her the witch book for a laugh. And maybe it's because she did have 3 black cats.
Maybe it was, yeah. You know,
if your class is having a black cat, you're a witch.
You're a witch. It's that age-old thing.
And also their friend stated if they were on drugs, how could they look after their daughter? Especially on meth or stronger drugs.
True.
Family and friends stated there was good parents. Daughter,
not that I know.
Good parents, daughter came first, and they wouldn't go without... they would
go
go without for their daughter. Also, the money could have been... bearing in mind they have time saves. Time shares. Yeah, time shares and loans. And that money could have been for the deposit, for the land.
For the land.
Next bit, the cult.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other thing. This is one that I did lean towards.
Are you leaning towards it?
I was a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so the cult was United White Knights.
Right.
It was Sherilyn's friend who also found out Bobby was on the cult's hit list along with his wife.
Okay. Interesting.
Mate, if I was on the cult hit list, I'd be panicking like fuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't wait until I wouldn't inquire about land,
No, but
mate. I'll be buying it.
She literally only found out after they went missing that also Bobby was on the cult's list as well. People have seen meth, and people have seen meth and people just yards away from the crime scene. Mm. So people have seen meth dealers, and people just yards away from the crime scene, and people have been shot at from the area. Mm. But what would the cult's motivation be? Was it racism? I mean, we don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, if the family were a problem for this cult, either way.
But as far as I've managed to find out, that the family were, putting it bluntly, they were a white family.
Yeah. So maybe the cult...
And like, the cult, what did you call them?
They were called the United White Knights.
So you would think white supremacists, maybe?
Unless maybe they were against them.
For doing certain aspects of certain things.
It seems there's a hidden message in this cult thing.
Yeah.
And that's something that I couldn't...
That's definitely bugging me with what the information is there.
And maybe the cult didn't want them to move so close to the area that they congregate in.
True.
And if they had caused a problem with the cult...
So that was one of my theories.
Maybe that they went there to buy the land, saw there was a cult there, or the cult congregated in that area, told them, look, we don't want this here, in the land that they're buying, and then caused, maybe that is their problem with the family.
Maybe it was. Maybe they were buying what they would class maybe as a holy land or something.
Yeah. Okay, so my other theory was natural causes.
Okay.
I mean, getting lost. Big woods. People do get lost.
True, and if the GPS is in the
car, you're not going to
get a bit turned around.
But they would have seen cars and headlights from the woods. They weren't that far. No, that's why natural causes was like...
That's why you would think
and
GPS
also,
is in the thing, because you can see the house.
And I also ruled it out because I was like, why would there be a bullet hole in Bobby's skull?
Yeah, it takes you a leap.
Like what we said earlier.
It does take you a little leap between the cult, but...
But why leave GPS dog coats in the car?
Money, IDs...
Unless forced out of a car, it just doesn't seem right. Go for a walk, leave dog in the car. If you're going to go into the woods, especially in this area where there's bears, wild animals, cults, you're going to take a gun, you're going to take fucking everything. You're going to take the fucking army forces, for fuck's sake. I'm stumped. No one knows, but with so many open like ties, nothing's concrete.
No.
I mean, from cults getting lost, murder, suicide.
Yeah.
I think they left the dog in the car to protect their belongings, e.g., money. Went for a quick walk, walked into trouble. But even that seems a bit unsettled for me.
Yeah.
So, what's your theories?
So, okay, so obviously
I did say it was really juicy, didn't I? I did say
it's a good juicy.
It's a good
juicy.
I mean, it's got to be a word now.
So
Juicy.
obviously, one of the theories, which is like a 1%er for me, it's not believable for me at all.
No.
But it is like possession with all the demonic stuff in the house.
Okay.
But then that is explained away with the friends.
Yeah, it explained away. I mean, the friend allegedly brought the witch book for a joke because she had black cats.
And obviously they were a bit paranoid.
Mate, you'd be paranoid if your father was after you and he'd hit you with the car twice.
True.
You'd definitely put up CCTV.
True.
You'd be like, fuck you,
so
man.
Obviously, my second theory was obviously they're involved in drugs, maybe supply or maybe demand.
Maybe a dealer.
You know,
but
with the father's history of apparently Bobby alleging that his father deals in meth and maybe he's a grower.
Okay, so just clarifying, right? Say Bobby's father did dabble in a bit of drugs, right? Why would Bobby then dabble in drugs after he's filed a complaint?
That's what I mean.
And they found no drug paraphernalia, no drugs in the car, none in the storage tank.
No, but do you think you can be a dealer? You can be a dealer.
Yeah, sure. But then they never found drugs on clothing.
No, that's what I mean. That's why we're doing this. So we're working for the investigation.
I mean, with the money side, like I said, that could be for land, timeshares. It could be all they had.
Yeah.
Plus the $10,000.
I did hit on the group suicide.
Yeah.
But that can't be proven to severely decomposed bodies.
No.
Like apart from the bullet wound.
Okay,
like the bullet through the skull, but then that is explained a little bit through the cult. Maybe they shot
the father. Eliminate and then
to eliminate the
threat.
But then
the bodies would have been there when they did the search.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They took They took the bodies.
Oh, they took them.
But then they would have found a trail. The dogs would have found a trail.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't
unless they were loaded into a car.
So this hits on my fourth and fifth theory.
Yeah.
That it was staged because either they were in witness protection due to his father.
Oh, okay. I can see
or
that.
whether they were basically snitches.
I can see that as well, but at the
like
same
Bobby
time,
as being a snitch.
Okay, but at the same time, why would the detectives know a lot about them doing?
It could be FBI. It could be FBI. It could be federal.
It could be.
Like
I mean,
they're not going to release.
That's quite
the
a
main
good theory.
snitch.
That's quite a good theory.
But obviously, I did put nothing is proven or denied because I did get a bit frustrated.
I can tell.
And it is a cold case still in federal.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
So, but what I was thinking,
Go
on. As we were reading through and as we were talking about these different
I
things.
had a lot of info that you didn't know about.
Yeah. I've kind of come up with my lucky number 6.
Go on.
So what happens, right? So if the old man up at the top, even he doesn't know about this.
Okay.
But what if they took a route up to the cabin to meet him, talk about the land, blah blah, and he was just they were like, oh, we'll walk around for a bit if you don't mind. He'd be like, yeah, sure, go ahead. He's gone back into the cabin or whatever, and they've started to walk around and nose around, have a look at the views and stuff.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe they've come across these growers of meth or
the drug dealers
the drug dealers or the cultists.
Yeah, go on.
Maybe they've come across them.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
And thought, what the fuck is going on here? Gone to turn back, and as I said, got grabbed.
Okay. The only downside to that theory is they would need the GPS,
Mm.
so that they would keep that on them. They would also take
But then
the dog.
if the dog is already in the car because they can see the houses from the woods,
Maybe.
like from the
I
car,
mean,
from the thing, maybe they got there, it was just like, they've taken the dog for a walk around, put the dog back into the car and gone, I can see the house, we'll go up, we'll talk to them, we'll go back to the car, we'll grab Maisie and...
Okay, but then they'd have to go back to the car because they took a picture of their daughter in the woods.
Mm.
And then they went back to the car with the phone and then put their belongings there.
But then maybe they obviously... True.
I mean,
maybe they've had a walk around. The cultists or the weeders or whatever.
I reckon
have
they
seen
were.
them
Yeah, I reckon they were followed.
and then followed them back to the.
Followed them back to the car, and like I said, they put the dog in, snatched.
Put the dog in, and then they've snatched a little girl. Closed the door.
I mean, I also put down sacrifice. I mean,
and he's thrown his phone into the back, maybe to do something or whatever.
Okay, so
because that dog's going to be in that car, he's going to be going nuts, and he's going to be all over the place. Maybe grabbing phones, maybe grabbing.
It could have made an accidental phone call.
Yeah, it could have done, to be fair.
The phone call was made on the 12th, and what day did they go missing? You'll get to this quicker than I will. I mean, the phone call was made on the 12th. Okay, so they went missing on the 8th.
2009.
They went missing on the 8th, and the phone call was made on the 12th.
4 days later.
I didn't know it was that many days behind. I just put down that the police stated there was a phone call made on that phone.
4 days later.
But it was a private number, and they couldn't find out where the phone call came from.
4 days later, but then that could have been...
It could have been a dog jumping around.
Could have been a dog jumping around. It could have.
I wish they would I wish they would have told us where the phone was.
Yeah.
Because it not being funny.
Yeah, they didn't say whether it was in the front, whether in the back, whether in the boot,
whether it was on the floor,
on the floor, on the seat. You just.
I mean, if it's a dog and he's going mental, he'll want to get out of that car. He'll be jumping around.
He'll be scratching windows.
My old dog, he literally dug up the whole fucking floor just to get out of the room because he heard the spooky noise. I don't mean lady. I mean we had a border collie.
Yeah.
And something must have happened in the big bedroom, and the curtain blew. I mean, it was quite windy. My father used to have the window open. Curtain blew, spooked him. He ripped up the whole floorboard and went out, mate. He dug out. So he's not going to get out of metal, obviously, but wood, yes. And it's a fucking truck. But the dog was in the back.
That's what I mean.
This is hard.
It is hard.
This is hard.
It is hard.
I mean, there's so many theories and assumptions you can go down.
I am leaning towards maybe cultists.
You were leaning that way. I found it very weird that Sherilyn and Bobby's name were on a cult book.
On a list.
On a list of people that had obviously gone missing or they'd been killed. That one is like, ooh. So maybe they did. Maybe they were... Okay, so just say...
Maybe they did come across something dodgy, or maybe they were followed because
maybe they were
specific plot of land.
Right, so let's get this right. Maybe they'd received a warning call or something, and they thought, shit, we need to get out of town. We need to pack our shit and leave. So they started packing, not making it look so suspicious, because if you're scared, you're going to be saying to your wife or your daughter, right, we need to go. Let's act.
They're like, okay.
Let's just act like it's a casual thing.
Yeah.
Let's act like, I don't know, I mean...
Maybe just like taking something to the local...
I mean, the other weird thing is the fact that CCTV footage shows them packing during the day. But then maybe they felt safer during the day.
Yeah, maybe it was more like we can't really see what was going on.
Yeah, we can't see what's outside at night.
Yeah.
If anything happens to us while we're loading up the car, no one's going to see it.
No.
And the CCTV footage will show it during the day. So maybe they did feel a bit safer. I mean, that was a thought process. I mean, if I was going to leave somewhere and say, like, I don't know, my killer was 22 hours away, I'd leave now. Like, I'd be like...
I'd get there, start.
I'd be like, oh, it's dark outside, you'll never see me. I'd use that to my advantage. But if I've got a cult after me...
Leave through the day, they wouldn't touch me.
Yeah, exactly. What are they going to do, turn up with their little masks and shit and chase me? Maybe.
No one would hit.
And you're not going to suspect someone loading up a car during the day if you're going on a family trip.
Oh no.
At night time, that looks a bit suspect. You're going to have all eyes on you. If she's got problems with the neighbours. But then,
loading up through the day, you just think.
And maybe they probably thought they were.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, maybe they thought they were being like watched, and this is why they didn't exchange conversation.
No, it's just like, no, let's get this done.
Right, so we'll go in, we'll get little bits, and maybe they were just looking at each other like.
Have you got that bit yet?
It's like maybe they were talking and you can't see it.
You just can't see it.
Yeah, maybe they were literally going like, "Oh, you got it. Oh, you got the briefcase because we need the briefcase." And it's like, "Yeah, we got the briefcase. Okay, let's change our clothes."
Yeah.
Maybe like every now and then they were passing, it was just like maybe we should just go. Oh, it's gone out.
Did like that out?
Yeah. Oh. So maybe that was it. I mean, maybe they were actually being stalked. Maybe they had so many fucking enemies because they're suing people.
Maybe they're just pissed off the wrong people.
And they knew they had to get out. And then, unfortunately enough for them, they were followed.
They didn't get out quick enough.
I reckon they parked up. They parked up normally. This is my theory. They packed their shit because they thought something was going to happen to them. They left. I mean, all the possession, the demons, the spirits, right, whatever. Apparently, Sherilyn and him saw figures on the roof. Not being funny, if your house is being watched.
They're going to try and wire something.
And, not also being funny, if someone's watching you, you're going to see fucking shadows at night.
You're going to get paranoid.
You're going to start thinking you're seeing shit.
You're seeing shit, you're hearing shit.
Saying that, they could have been on the roof. Waiting for them to come out, maybe put the rubbish out, jump them. Maybe that's why they kept going out together. Maybe that is also another reason they took their daughter out of school. They were like, we can't risk picking her up anymore, we need all eyes on her. Just in case they snatch her. And they thought, right, what better way? Okay, well, she had her teeth smacked out. No, she's not going to school. We're going to use this as an excuse so we can keep all eyes on her. We're going to use...
And we're going to make as much noise as we can so everyone's now watching us so that we...
Yeah, I mean, writing that thing on your fucking storage tank, that's going to attract some fucking attention.
That's going to attract neighbours, that's going to attract...
So here is my theory, right? So they've got money.
Mm-hmm.
He's got money from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I kind of come down to. Mm-hmm. They've gone up to the mountains because they are wanting to get away from their neighbourhood.
Yeah.
They want a secluded place so no one's going to find them up in the mountains. I mean, it would make sense. If you've got problems, you're going to go somewhere no one's going to find you.
Oh yeah, you're gonna right? Separate yourself completely.
So you pull up, you speak to the owner of the land, you make a deal. You'd be like, right, okay, we'll do this. Okay, we're having this plot. He's probably looking at it like, protect my family. She's probably looking at it like, okay, or maybe like he's caused the problem, and this is why she goes off him quite a lot. She's like, oh, he's such a dick. He's got the cats killed. You know.
Yeah.
I could see him possibly being a bit of a troublemaker, to be fair. But at the same time, right. So back to my theory. Yeah. Parked up. They went up to see the old man. Yeah. No one was around. You're in the woods. No one's gonna fucking find you anyway. As they started to come back down, they put all their belongings in the car. They put the dog in the car. Then it happens. Then they're snatched. And then whoever snatched them didn't have a weapon, because if they did, they would have took out the dog. Yeah. Right. But obviously they didn't know that Bobby had a weapon, a gun. So they snatched them.
Must have searched them, maybe
Searched them, took the gun, told them to
a dark leather
briefcase.
Yeah, was never found.
Yeah. Maybe they saw that. Maybe that does hold information.
Maybe that holds information about the plot of land. Maybe it was.
Or maybe it holds information about someone.
Or about someone or something. Yeah.
So, right, they put their dog in the car. They put the phones in the car. They're about to close it. Or they do close it. They do close it. And then maybe the people that took them took a picture of the daughter in the woods. You know, being like, oh, we're gonna make this look good. And they've got the gun now because he took it. Yeah. Otherwise, if they had it to start with, they would have killed the dog. Smartest option. Right? Then they led them into the woods, loaded them up into a car, and took them. And then dumped their bodies years later. And they never went back to the scene, because 8 days later, maybe they'd driven halfway across the country. You don't fucking know. No, true. But I'm not being funny. Most criminals do go back to the crime scene. But if you've got a fucking dog barking and going nuts in the car, you ain't going to go back to it. You're going to be like, fuck this, we got who we wanted, fuck the dog. And it seems like
maybe
it was...
they caused too much trouble. They shot him. They realised what they'd done. That they killed the rest of the family, and they had to dump them somewhere.
Yeah, and then years later they dump them. Dump them. They go, oh right, so here's where the car was. Let's dump their bodies. Yeah, they knew where the car was. Obviously, whoever took them. But maybe then they went, right, the car was around here. We'll dump them up here. See, either way, the vendetta wasn't money related.
No.
Because they would have took all the
valuables. They would have searched the car. They would have
took the valuables.
They would have got rid of the dog somehow.
This murder, I think I'm going to put it down to, was personal. Yeah? Because if it wasn't personal, they would then go to their house, take the IDs, take everything.
They would take everything.
This was a personal matter. This wasn't money related. This wasn't drug related.
No, I still think it was something to do with the cult.
Yep.
But whether, they pissed off someone quite high up in it.
I reckon, like I said, it was
or come across something, or got dirt on something.
I reckon they knew something.
Knew something that maybe got them. That's why they were worried and paranoid. They've come across this thing, and you're sort of, oh, actually.
You're seeing it now from my end. You're thinking, hang on, if this was a normal robbery, like in the States, anywhere, even in the UK, they'll take your money, they'll take your card, they take everything.
They'll take the car.
Yeah, they would literally take the car, take everything out of it, then dump the
dog.
And dump the car. They would dump the car, set fire to it. Yeah. So this murder,
the car seems too set.
Is that what you're thinking? The car's too set up.
The car's too set up. Because they have everything still inside. It's too set up.
It's not set up. It's not set up if you throw the dog in it and you go, I ain't gonna open it, that dog's mental.
No, but I mean, it's too, as you said, without properly knowing the size of the dog and the breed, it puts the curve.
Oh, I've just thought of something. So Bobby probably had his phone on him. Probably had his wallet on him as well. I'm guessing she probably had her purse on there or ID on her as well.
They'd had to take the briefcase with a certain amount of money.
They've done something in terms of this. Like, Bobby hasn't mentioned to anyone about the $32,000 under his seat, right? But what I'm saying is...
But they've taken the briefcase
and
the gun.
Right, yeah, taken briefcase, gun, right? Now if I said to you, what about if the phones were on them, the GPS was on them, and the dog was also with them? And they got rid of they killed the family and put the dog back in the car and put their phones and everything else back in the car.
Staged.
So you reckon the car was staged? But then if it was staged, mate, I'd take the 32 grand if I just popped someone off.
Yeah, but then if you don't know it's under there, because it's under a seat.
Yeah, you're not going, oh, okay, fair enough, yeah.
Because
And this could also explain the phone call.
You've got a drawer underneath, but you only know there's a drawer if you put your hand right under and pull it forward.
And it's a truck, mate, so
and
it's
some
probably
of them are built in, some of them are small cabs.
So
Basically, got like Dodge Charger, like the quad cam.
Right, they would have found fingerprints.
Yeah.
Of whoever had this stuff.
Inside, out.
Unless
inside anyway, but
unless they're wearing gloves.
True.
If they're wearing gloves, and say Bobby and his wife Sherilyn and daughter and everything else.
Yeah, but you could find, say, if someone was in the car.
Yeah.
You could say that they'd find hair follicles, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they must have thrown it in the car.
Yeah, but if you just open the door, bundle the dog in.
Yeah.
Bundle like the phones and IDs in.
It's a very clever setup.
Well, it is, and then just close the door and walk away.
It's a clever setup.
It is a clever setup, but I wouldn't put it past that.
That could also explain why the phone call was made on the 12th. Because they had the bodies and
someone like pushed the wrong button or whatever, or.
Or they
made a call to an unknown number and got rid of the burn phone.
Yeah.
To make it look weird, maybe throw him off the scent of looking at the phone.
I mean, you bringing up the car and the dog being still in the car, the dog possibly surviving. I mean, they could have just tied the dog up to a tree.
No, the dog did survive.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is they could have tied the dog up to a tree, done away with the family, then put the dog back in the car and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm still saying it's a murder, and I'm still saying it's personal. It's not money orientated. It's not drug related.
No, they pissed someone off. They definitely pissed someone off.
Yeah, but who?
But who?
We don't know.
That's the unsettled part.
Who and why? It just seems like they're suing a lot of people. They've made a few enemies.
Yeah, pissed off. That's another one.
Oh, that one's gone too. Oh,
we're counting down. 2 left.
4, 3, 2, 1. We're done. So what do you guys think happened? What do you think happened to his family? I don't know, mate, but if my name's written in the cult book somewhere, please don't come and get me. Please. I've got more to do. I've got more. I've got lists.
But no, it is unsettled.
It is. It's unsettled, and I told you it was juicy.
It's unsettled.
It's juicy.